Obviously, addiction is something serious, but there are so many things that's been programmed for people to fall addicted to, whether it's cigarettes, drugs, gaming, TV, Netflix, the infinite scroll on Instagram. It's all addicting. So here's a video talking about Gen Z in the era of addictions. Let's check it out.
Finally, Friday. I can't wait to take my Zin with a whole can of Red Bull to get ready for work.
Zen?
I don't even
Okay.
need breakfast because Monster Energy got me covered. It
Damn.
really gets the
Really?
heart pumping.
That's crazy.
Seriously, I
I
can
bet it
already
does.
feel the burn and I didn't even go
Hmm.
to the gym yet.
The
After grinding
populations.
all day on the Excel spreadsheets, I'm ready for my lunch.
Not
Four
the
Loko and
XL.
hot Cheetos. Of
Four
course,
Loco
I
and
also
hot
have half of the
Cheetos.
Chick-fil-A menu for the gains. Those McDonald's suckers, they're eating their way towards cardiac arrest.
Yeah,
After my
bro.
nutritious
Chick-fil-A so
5,000
better.
calorie meal, I grabbed myself some of that Panera lemonade to hit a new
uh,
PR. Of course, I can't forget the
Gamer
pre-workout
subs.
after nearly tearing my meniscus, biceps, triceps, and spleen during my PR deadlift. I
Okay.
finally get to go home and spoil myself with some fried chicken I prepared. I'm going to rewatch The Office for the
Delicious.
12th time
It
while
looked like
myself with some
Popeyes
fried
too.
chicken I
Mm.
prepared.
Mm,
I'm
mm,
going
mm,
to
mm, mm.
rewatch The Office for the 12th time while playing some Subway Surfers and gooning to some quality yandere
Oh,
goth mommy roleplay ASMRs.
Maury Calliope.
Oops, I almost forgot to take my ADHD meds. I kind of got
Take your
addicted to them,
meds.
but they say it's part of the treatment. My life could not get
Uh,
any better. The weekend will also be amazing. There's a double XP event in Apex and League of Legends just got updated.
yeah.
Gotta get those event loot drops. What if I get the
Yeah.
legendary Timo Goon skin? Or the drumsticks? We're gonna grind all night. Literally, I think if I fall asleep my heart will stop beating and the sheer amount of caffeine in my veins is enough to turn the microplastics in my body into living organisms.
Oh man, dude, microplastics are freaking terrible.
I'm an insomniac anyway, so I wouldn't have gotten a good night's rest either way. Well, it's late night, so I might as well scroll through Instagram and TikTok until I
The
pass
infinite
out.
scroll.
I know I was supposed to go to this barbecue, but I'd much rather support my boys.
Yeah.
Besides, it could be so much worse. I'm glad that I'm not some junkie on the streets looking for his next hit. That would be terrible. This is all there is to life, and it can't get any better than this. If this was your morning routine, then you will cease to exist in 3 to 4 business days.
For
But
real.
you could probably relate to at least one of the things I mentioned, because everything is trying to get you addicted now. And by everything, I mean literally everything. From
Everything.
games, food,
100%.
drinks, TV shows, your phone, your job even, and the CIA. Welcome, Gen Z, to the world of addictions.
That wasn't a joke.
Why Gen Z specifically? Because it didn't used to be this bad. For example, video games used to be a product that you would be able to finish, or they would be party games to play with your friends. Of course these games still exist, but now, super popular games aren't made to necessarily end. They want to keep you playing until the company goes bankrupt or the world collapses, because they figured out if you keep playing, you're more likely to buy battle passes, cosmetics, and loot boxes. Or how streaming sites have embraced binge culture, so you consume large amounts of content all at once. In fact, designers have said that the #1 goal of Netflix is to keep your attention, or should I say, retention. The next episode automatically playing 10 seconds after the
Automatically.
previous one has ended. That change was meant to increase the time users spend on Netflix, and it worked.
It
Social
did.
media sites now use gambling methods, as do almost all corporations of the 21st century, to keep you addicted for all of your attention. That's actually how short-form videos came to dominate everything. They have an element of gambling to them, where not all videos are exactly what you were looking for, but when they hit it
They
big.
hit good.
The
Yeah.
algorithms also choose the videos for you. So
Yep.
because you don't
Nah,
decide when your
overlord.
screen time session ends, it'll keep you hooked on these stupid videos for much longer.
It sure
the game
does.
is rigged against you. The best customers are the ones that never quit. And if you
Yep.
have yourselves an addict, you got yourself a forever customer. Since most people
Exactly.
don't have the willpower or determination to
Exactly.
break out of an addiction. The
100%
business
true.
practices of a bygone age was much different, because people were less lonely and they usually had a deeper meaning to their lives. So the same strategies would
Bro, this video is impressive and at the same time disturbing and depressing, man. Amazing video. I'm gonna hit it with a like so we can get more of this awesome content. Nick Champs, bro, insta sub, easy
have been
sub.
as useful as they are today, although they would still be more effective due to intense research and funding. We live in an age of loneliness and meaninglessness, so many people turn to
After you
nihilism
turn
and
21.
hedonism, a la Rick and Morty, to fill the voids in their hearts, and almost every major corporation has taken advantage of it. Money can't buy happiness, but you can buy a chance for happiness. Here's
Money is 100% important. The more money you have, the more opportunities you get, the easier it is for you to live your life. This is like no surprise. But yeah, money, of course, isn't the end. It's not the end all be all when it comes to happiness. It's what you do with it that creates the happiness.
Another terrible example, dating apps. They have essentially turned dating into a pay to win, and they want to keep you lonely because if you keep coming back, you'll buy more Tinder Gold, or whatever. You might think that just because it's possible and easy to get addicted to these things, that doesn't mean they were meant to get you addicted. Heck, you can even get addicted to cucumbers if you try hard enough. Oh, sweet summer child. Let me tell you about dark design,
It's true, you
or
could.
intentionally addictive design choices hidden in most products now. In gaming, this design is very obvious, with loot boxes that have a random chance of giving you a valuable item, so it's just gambling in essence, and gambling can lead to addiction very quickly because of the huge dopamine
100%.
hits
The
when you win.
surprise.
And get
Yep.
this, gamblers also get a dopamine hit on a near win. So a casino could
They sure
metaphorically
do.
edge you for all of your money,
They
making you
sure
convinced you're
could.
gonna win the next round, but it
Yep.
never happens.
And you
But loot
never
boxes aren't the only addictive
finish.
elements in modern gaming. Things like daily rewards, double XP
Daily
weekends, and
login.
challenges you
Yep.
can complete for in-game skins and items, they all give you an incentive to play the game every day and make it a part of your life. They are reinforcing habits that are associated with you playing the game, because the more time you'll spend playing a game, the more likely you are to spend money on it. And most
That's
big game
also true.
companies know this. With
Yes.
also things like the Battle Pass bringing back subscription gaming in a sense, with the only caveat being that you can technically play the game for free. But even this is a tactic used by dealers of illicit substances to get you hooked. The first hit is free, for the next one you'll have to pay. And so many
Yep.
companies are now using this classic method to get people addicted to their product and make themselves rich. Pretty much all entertainment tries to get you hooked on it, and you probably already are. As you might have noticed, they started trying to get you hooked on caffeine and lots of sugars as well. Even lemonade is not safe anymore. They want you to be reliant on coffee to wake you up in the morning. It's a giant industry that only exists because our current lifestyles are incompatible with our caveman brains.
That's
We were
crazy.
not meant to work.
Bro, you got a whole warning for this? That's crazy. Not recommended for children, people sensitive to caffeine, pregnant, or nursing women. Bro, that is big.
Because our current lifestyles
That is
are
absolutely
incompatible with our
big, bro.
caveman brains. We
Um,
were not meant to work so many consecutive hours in a row. Caffeine just enables unhealthy working hours. And fun fact, caffeine doesn't actually give you energy, it just inhibits your tiredness receptors, so to speak, so you can't feel getting tired. This is why the infamous caffeine crash happens as well. And
okay.
speaking of caveman brains, we are not made for these technological superstimuli or hyperstimuli. A supernormal stimuli is a stimulus that can't be found in nature, and it puts the brain systems for rewards, i.e. dopamine, into overdrive, to the point of being harmful to your well-being. These superstimuli are everywhere now, because of the internet, with corn being a very easy and obvious example.
Exactly.
We've had access to the internet and smartphones since we could think. Gen Z and the millennials are like
They're gonna
patient
grow
zero
up
for
with it.
tech addiction.
Yes.
So we're all hooked on something. But what if you want to quit? The big problem with quitting is you'll be the odd one out.
Yes.
Most people partake in vices like copious amounts of caffeine and alcohol.
Everybody is doing it. So whenever you're not, you're the odd one. I've experienced it like even now. Like people legitimately will ask me, "Oh, are you gonna get the new Star Wars game?" Bro, I didn't even know a new Star Wars game was coming out. It's like, "Oh, did you see this movie?" I'm like, "No, what is that? Did you hear this?" No, I haven't. I've been busy on focusing on my own life. And it's like you're the odd man out 100%. And they're like, "What? Huh? You're not in tune?" Like, no, I'm not. I'm really not. And I'm happier for it, to be honest. But yeah, it's definitely lonely as well because not many people live the same type of lifestyle. Everybody's addicted to everything, and when you're addicted to nothing, you're the weirdo. It's crazy.
Every day. In fact, there are whole social events that form around them. You meet people by getting a coffee with them, or you mingle at a bar. Addictions have major social elements attached to them,
They
and in
do.
some countries, addictions are
It's
practically
expected.
institutionalized.
Yes.
Try socializing in the Balkans without drinking or gambling. I dare you. But for real, there's not much to do there except for drink and gamble. Same here in the soon-to-be member of the Balkans, Germany. The legal age to drink is 14 under the supervision of your parents, and there are whole events like the
14.
Oktoberfest that are just
Yeah.
about drinking. If you are completely sober in Germany, it is harder to find things to do. Of course, you can always drink in moderation, but how many people do you know who are actually able to do that? Instead, they just
I'm
name
not
it as an
sure.
excuse to normalize drinking. I know that personally, I get easily addicted to things. That's why I stay away from alcohol and gambling, but it is pretty annoying to explain to people why I don't drink at most social events. And it's awkward as well. If you're the only one sober at a party where everyone is drunk, you can see just how annoying drunk people can really be. And
True.
you can't exactly have any meaningful conversations either. The point of alcohol is to trick your body to think that it's the end, after all, thus turning your brain off and making all of the bad thoughts go away. But alcohol isn't just the only social addiction. If you want to get rid of your social media and technological addictions, it's borderline impossible because you become an absolute outsider. People love to
Yes, I
sit next
do.
to you.
This is me. Yeah, I'm the one reading the book in the background, bro. I am not with everybody else. And yeah, it can be lonely, but you got to embrace the loneliness. You know, we have a certain amount of time here on this earth. It doesn't really matter the amount of time, it's what you do with it. So, even though I'm outside of like these social circles, I'm not the only one. There are other people that enjoy the more relaxed type of lifestyle of reading books instead of scrolling. There are people that listen to the radio instead of watching movies, right? So there are still people that exist. It's just there's a smaller amount of them. So spending that time to try and find those connections through the hobbies that I actually enjoy has led to more beneficial emotions than just, oh, let me go ahead and hop on the game because everybody's on the game. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy playing games with my friends, I really do, but I'm only here to play the game with you for like an hour and some change, and then after that I'm gonna go do something else. Like, but other people, they could just sit and they play it all day. Props to them, do your thing. But it definitely does get a bit lonely, but at the same time, it is what it is. It's fine. You can just you could always jump back into the social circle. Of course, it'll be a little weird because you're not used to being in it, but at the same time, you don't really need to be in it. So remember that you don't need to be in it. You do your own thing.
Each other. It's a new way to communicate. It would be a huge hassle if you have to find new friends that are also trying to quit social media and the endless entertainment device altogether, and I don't think this is reasonable to expect out of most people. If you want to fit in, you gotta partake in some addictive behaviors. That's just how it is right now, but at least you can learn how to do it in moderation or make compromises. I know
Yeah, you can make
moderation is difficult,
compromises.
but it's theoretically possible. For example, yes, I will go to this party and I will be having a single drink, no more. Because if I get home and my blood alcohol level snitches on me through the breathalyzer, my mom will delete my Red Dead Redemption 2 save file, and I'll
Uh-oh.
have to do Coulter all over again. No matter how you put it, addictions have become a major part of our life now, and we have to go up against billion-dollar marketing and bioengineering just to be fully content. You need to have a life outside of the addiction.
That's kind of wild to read that coffee is more addictive than weed. To be honest, that's very surprising. I did not know that.
Engineering just to be fully content. You need to have a life outside of the addiction to truly quit it. But this is very difficult with things such as technological addictions, where we have become reliant on technology to the point of not being able to live a normal, comfortable life without it. Unless you're an off-grid farmer, but most people aren't. Addictions, in essence, are just unhealthy coping mechanisms. We use them to get through the struggles of everyday life, which has grown so complex to the point of being comical.
And it's kind of sad, right? We do have these addictions to get away from the struggle of everyday life, but everyday life has become very difficult for more people, and it's gradually becoming more difficult for even more people, leading to more people getting addicted to addictive substances, leading into a downward spiral. But you don't have to participate in these addictions. It does make it easier to accept defeat or accept the reality or accept whatever it is you need to accept. If you have to accept it, but you could also change it as well. I was definitely addicted to porn. I was addicted to video games. I was definitely addicted to just staying up late at night. A lot of people don't realize that sleep is very important. 7 to 8 hours of sleep will legitimately make your life so much better. But I was used to just getting like what 5 hours, 4 hours, right? Not really sleeping much, and it took a bad turn on my health. And I woke up one day, and I didn't just wake up one day and change my life. I mostly changed it when I went up my stairs and I was like basically getting tired. And all I did was go up one flight of stairs. I was like, yeah, no, it's time to change this. So definitely you can change your life for the better, but it's up to you to want to do so.
Come on, can you really
And it's
exercise,
not easy
socialize,
either.
work, meditate, eat healthy, relax, and do your daily chores in a day?
Yeah, you can. You actually can if you wake up early and if you're also financially stable. But not everybody is like that. It's very hard to do, right? I legitimately do these things.
A lot of
It's
people
it's
have to
not easy.
sacrifice some of these things now,
Yeah, you
especially if
have
you
to.
already have mental illnesses like ADHD and autism. That's not all. Life has started to give us complex PTSD. Now, what does this mean? PTSD, or post traumatic stress disorder, used to be another term for shell shock, a condition that soldiers suffered after the World Wars. It was thought the blast waves from the shells could have negative effects on the brain that resulted in PTSD. Turns out, you can get it just by participating in war, and now, with our newest form of PTSD, you can get it from regular everyday life. Well, technically, it requires traumatic life experiences, but come on, life in itself is traumatic. You almost never see people who had zero adverse childhood experiences. The world is just brutal in that way, so I would consider it as everyday life. Most people are just varying degrees of mentally ill or traumatized, but only the worst cases get detected. People who are mentally ill and traumatized tend to self-medicate a lot, and self-medication easily leads to addiction due to overusage. But sometimes, the doctors will actually prescribe you medications such as
Yes.
SSRIs, for example, that will make you dependent on them, but it's worth it because they cure a condition that is worse than the side effects. I understand that
So
some
they
people
say.
really are so mentally unwell that they need to be reliant on a certain medication to function, but I can't help but feel like this is a Victorian era solution. We can resuscitate a person back to life, perform actual medical miracles, but we can't make the sad thoughts go away without medications that have side effects like having a limp willy, super sweat, and cotton tongue.
Or it makes you want to die even faster.
I personally
It's
believe that you should try
crazy.
every other alternative before opting for administered substances.
Meditation is
I know
good.
that it's much quicker than finding the solutions to your problems, and easier, but I think it'll screw you over in the long term. Also, what are you going to do if the medication isn't available? It's
Yeah.
very expensive most of the
Medication is
time, and also
expensive.
on high demand because of the rise in mental illness. Having
Hmm.
healthy coping mechanisms would sure come in handy then. You just have
Yeah.
to put the work in to achieve them, which is easier said than done. Meditation would definitely be a good start, but it is harder than medication. Now, I know that back
Yeah, it's easier to pop a pill than sit with your thoughts for like 10 to 15 to 20 minutes. Some people can't even sit with their thoughts for 3 minutes. So yeah, but I think you can do it if you just keep trying. I mean, humans are designed to be able to adapt to many things in life. So just keep trying. Try these healthy, like bro, here's a whole freaking a thing. Like all of this is legit, bro. Like listen to music. Yes. Spend time in nature. Yes. Do some exercise. Yes. Get enough sleep. Yes. Watch a funny movie. Sure. Do yoga. Yes. Laugh. Yes. Eat healthy food. Yes. Like these things, they're not really hard, but it's hard for you to stay committed to doing them. And I know that because it was hard for me to also stay committed to doing them. There was times where I would go exercise for like 6 months and then like I would go for like a whole year without working out and I'd get fat again and then I'd be upset and then it lead to porn addiction again and like it would cause issues, but then I was like, you know what? Let's just stay committed. You have to legitimately make it your lifestyle. Not like I'm a keep working out to lose like a certain weight loss goal. It's I'm gonna keep working out and just watch it go down just to see how far it can go. Don't aim for a specific goal because once you meet that goal, you're more than likely to be like, okay, I meet my goal. Maybe I can slack off a little here and there. And trust me, it's okay to, in like there's a reason why cheat day exists for people that work out. It's so you do have an outlet or a way to enjoy the spoils of being, you know, healthy. It's like you eat healthy food Monday through Friday. Well, Saturday and Sunday, eat a burger. On Saturday and on Sunday, eat a pizza. And then Monday through Friday, you're back to eating healthy again. Like, yeah, these things are also needed. It's a balance. You don't have to be super healthy, but you don't have to be super unhealthy as well. There's a middle line that every single person can reach if they try hard enough.
meditation would definitely be a good start, but it is harder than medication. Like cough syrup, but at least they didn't actively know these substances were addictive and they were less hidden than most modern addictions. Modern addictions hide themselves behind caffeine and sugar, or they hide behind your feelings. They give you
Sugar,
the illusion of choice. No one is
yeah,
forcing you to play League of Legends for 8 hours a day or watch YouTube videos all day.
that's
You're
also
doing this
true.
to yourself, right? You
Yes.
are not immune to propaganda, and you're especially not immune towards these business practices that make billions. Your addictions are the result of malicious algorithms and human biohacking, so it's not all your fault.
It's definitely 100% not all of your fault. but it is also up to you if you realize that you're going through issues to change them. And of course, it's not going to be easy to change them. I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like, oh yeah, just stop. I'm addicted to cigarettes. Well, then stop smoking cigarettes. Oh, okay, so easy, right? Of course, there's going to be symptoms, there's going to be withdrawals, and even if there's no actual physical withdrawals, like mentally, your body is gonna be like, oh, do you want to do it again? Like, oh, I miss the feeling of being whatever, whether being drunk or being high or whatever. Like you're gonna miss it, or I miss playing video games with the boys, right? So you're definitely gonna feel it, and it's up to you to really fight that and be like, yeah, I miss it, but I also don't need it, and that's the hard part. That is 100% the hard part, man. I congratulate you if you can get through it. Come on,
But you
Garfield.
sadly have to take your actions under these addictions in your own hands. In the
Yes.
end, you only have control over your own actions. So,
Yes.
if we keep getting caffeine, sugar, which is also extremely addictive, and TikTok shoved in our face, we need to deal with them accordingly by not even giving them an ounce of our precious attention. Companies will do everything to get and keep your attention, even in the workplace. Some companies have even started to offer 3 meals a day, sleeping areas, gaming rooms, and more, so you'll practically start living in the office and
And that's a slippery slope because as soon as people start living in the office and sleeping in the office, you guys know Japanese culture, right? Where it's like, oh, if you're the first one to leave the office, people start looking at you crazy. Now imagine where it's like you can never leave the office. If you ever go outside the office for any minute, people are going to look at you crazy. And it's easy for that to happen. Like people make it seem like, oh no, that wouldn't happen to me. Like, yes, peer pressure is very hard for some people. Maybe a lot of people, I'm not sure, but for some people, peer pressure is like the end all be all. Like the they need to have people like them. As crazy as it sounds, at least for me, it sounds crazy to want to have a lot of people like you. That's just not going to be the case. And of course, we're social creatures. We like to have a community, but that community doesn't have to necessarily be only in one spot. You can have your workplace community, you can have your online community, you can have your legitimate neighborhood community. These different communities can all keep you level to the ground or have a more positive effect on you. You don't need to be in just one community. You can be anywhere legitimately. As long as they accept you for who you are, bro, you're good. That's the big thing. And you need to accept yourself for who you are as well.
become reliant on the job. Google is famous for doing this, and they already overwork their workers naturally, but the workers themselves also usually start to overwork themselves, because if you practically live in your job, you never quit. And
Exactly.
just like the CIA never quit psychological operations. Now,
100%
am I
true.
suggesting that the CIA has something to do with the shift in focus, where
Maybe.
addictions used to be frowned upon, but now they're
Maybe.
considered everyday normal coping mechanisms?
Maybe.
I will not confirm nor
We'll know in like 10 to 15 to 20 years when it pops up online, like, hey, this is the secret stuff the CIA and the government was doing in 2024. It's like, yeah, shit happens all the time and we won't find out till later.
deny that statement. The Psychological Operations Division is still very active.
A
It
hundred
always has
percent.
been.
Of
So would it be
course.
so crazy to suggest that the government occasionally lends a helping hand to all of these corporations that keep you addicted?
I
Because it
wouldn't
gives
doubt
them
it.
more control and bargaining power over their own people.
It
I
sure
wouldn't say
does.
they are the sole perpetrators behind this, but to say they had no hand in this is frankly nonsense in my opinion. Coca-Cola is only meant to be sweet for a short time in your mouth, so you'll be satisfied less and keep drinking more. Modern food is filled with so many
Hmm.
processed ingredients, sugars, salts, and artificial sweeteners that will keep you always wanting more. Is
Hmm.
capitalism really worth it at this point if this is the penultimate result? But that's
And that's a good question. Is capitalism really worth it? Like we see the wealth inequality, right? And it's not possible for people to just pull themselves up by the bootstraps as many grinders and hustlers want to say it and preach it out loud. Like there are legitimate benefactors going against every single person that keeps them from being more successful because the wealth it's significantly spread out. And it was significantly spread out before in the past, but then it went down because people started fighting for their rights for more pay. They started having the what's it called? The I can't remember what it's called, but whenever you're working and it's like, oh, we're having a union, people started unionizing and all the wages started going down. It was more balanced. And then after Reaganomics, it went right back up again. So now that technology has progressed, less people think for themselves. They people don't express themselves. on top of the issues that were going on like there were back then, it's going to be very tough for things to go back to a more fair playing field is like the best way I would say it. Like if you want to have a legitimate shot or a legitimate chance of becoming or doing whatever it is that you want to, it's way tougher to do it now than it was 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 30 years ago, right? And that's not really a long time, to be honest. So stuff has changed, and I think we can change it back, honestly. It's not all doom and gloom. We just need to work together, to be honest. That's literally the secret.
That's besides the point.
But I'm sure there's more issues, right? But of course,
Let's get back to
in due
understanding the
time.
tactics they use to keep us addicted. Fun fact, the delay of a stimulus can actually increase the urge, thus making an addiction stronger. This is also why quitting cold turkey doesn't really work for our modern vices, because we have super easy access to them and no replacement, so we all eventually break or run out of willpower and strengthen our addiction. Our vices and addictions are more accessible than ever now. If you were addicted to ciggies back in the day, you at the very least had to go to the store and buy them. And they're pretty expensive now, so getting ciggies isn't as simple as, I don't know, reaching into your pocket to pull out a device with every herb you could possibly think of smoking. Right at your fingertips. It takes less than a second to unlock your phone and engage in your social media cravings or even pornography. Pornography is especially problematic because it is a well-known
It's
super
big.
stimuli that can basically override your entire brain.
Yeah.
You can beef your jerky anytime, no matter if you're happy,
Anytime.
horny, sad, or corny. Pretty much endless dopamine right at your fingertips. How could we not realize that this is bad for us? This actually reminds me of the mouse utopia experiment, where mice were given everything they needed to thrive, and it led to the mice eventually turning it into a dystopia. We are terrible at regulating our dopamine intake. We were never supposed to do that in the first place. We still have the feeble minds of the same people that lived in caves thousands of years ago. So now our feeble caveman brains have to deal with an incomprehensible amount of stimulation. We used to take walks, sharpen our tools, and clean our cloths, but now we look at live leak videos of Chinese steel factory workers getting eaten by the 1,000 years of luck dragon. And all of that just to keep your attention. To keep you entertained like a Roman emperor. Attention is the new economy. We live in an
It
attention
is.
economy where you
Yes, attention gets you paid. When people make YouTube videos, the views, the view retention, the view rate, those get you paid. YouTube is paying me to have you watch the video. And of course, we all know this, but this is for everything and this is for everywhere. Now, it used to be only so many people could get paid for doing online stuff. But now everybody is getting paid to do online stuff because everybody is going for your attention. TikTok. Everybody's doing some type of dance or they're doing something or they're preaching something or they're marketing something or they're doing something. Everybody is doing something everywhere to get your attention because your attention is worth money. It's 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 the way that the world is moving. For how long I'm not sure. Like the power of AI and all these things that can create content like this without that much effort. You know, I'm pretty sure like the view pay is gonna go down, and then even then it's like, okay, how many people do you need to get to watch you for you to survive? Well, you need a lot of people to watch you. You need a lot of people to watch you. Now, if the views aren't going good, people already, go crazy over views. Like your favorite content creator has probably gone crazy at least one time looking at their analytics because that's what analytics do. You see the number go up, you go up, and you try and chase it. You try and chase it. What's the next big thing, right? It's gonna be rough, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy out here, man. Shout out to Gen Z, man. I hope y'all can get through it. Y'all the next. Yeah, Gen Alpha. Hey, good luck.
your attention is
It's
worth
gonna be
literal
tough.
gold. And if you're
Yes.
reliant on your phone, for example, for silly videos at your disposal, you become a walking, talking cash printer. Because let's be honest, those businessmen and corporations see you as nothing more. If you haven't noticed, all of this is caused or is related to capitalism, or corporatism, whatever you'd like to call it. It is the root cause of our obsession with addiction. Our reliance on coffee to get up in the morning, our reliance on antidepressants to keep ourselves alive and working. We rely on all of these outside stimuli and factors because our world has become so unlivable for a regular person. We use these vices not to just get through our terrible world, but also to escape from it as well. This is not what we were meant to do. Working 9 to 5 every day for most of your life isn't natural or desirable. The deeper cause for all of our addictions is a lack of belief in the feeling that we live in a terrible world. Le escapism. It's gotten so bad that even healthy coping mechanisms are starting to get corrupted now. A lot of people like to exercise to deal with the stress of life,
And that's the sad part because yes, it's 100% true, man. A lot of people have turned exercise into not a way for you to express yourself or get stronger or relieve stress, but as a way to market. Everybody's on some type of steroid or whatever to increase their muscle mass. Well, why do they do that? Well, if they have bigger muscles, people are more likely to listen to them. Well, your muscles can only get so big being natural, right? If I was to take steroids now, my bicep would grow way bigger than this. And it wouldn't take that much effort. Of course, it still takes a little bit of effort, but when it comes to testosterone boosting and you get like four times the amount, and sometimes even higher, like, and you have to compete with that guy. If you guys are both going to be marketing the same gym shit, right? You can only exercise so many ways, right? There are many exercises in the world, but the best ones, of course, people are going to cover the same best exercises. So if you look better than this guy and you guys are both covering the same thing, you're most likely going to get more likes, more clicks, more whatever, more response because you look better than this guy. But at the same time, you guys are both doing things to unnaturally enhance yourself. Because if you were natural, well, less people will watch you guys because they're going to go watch that guy because he's enhanced. So it's sad, but it's the way the world works. But I'm glad a lot more people are coming out about being unnatural. There was a point in time where people are unnatural and they wouldn't tell the truth. They would just be like, "Yeah, no, I just eat brown rice, I eat eggs, and I eat chicken breast, and I work out 5 times a week." Like, yeah, 5 times a week, and your freaking muscles as big as my head, bro. Bullshit.
But they just end up exercising to their detriment and feeding into their body dysmorphia. Extreme eating habits and taking steroids that balloon your muscles and shorten your lifespan.
Case in fucking point.
By 30 years. Let's be honest here, our future
Oh
is more on the
man.
bleak side. There's not much to look forward to, and you're not going to be buying a house or starting a family anytime soon in this economy. Unless you want to earn the big bucks at Lockheed Martin and develop AI integrated ballistic missile systems for safety, of course. So
Safety.
you start looking into things that distract you, whether it's something positive like exercise, reading, and music, to something hazardous to your health, like Zen, no sleep gaming, and the old Goon Lagoon. It ends with the same story that you need bigger and bigger dopamine hits to cope with the fact that the brain will slowly lessen the level of dopamine you get from your vice, and your addiction will become your life. I know so many people that advocate for getting addicted to good things like diet and exercise, and it's an amazing start, and I even support it. But these distractions do not solve the deeper issues. I'm talking from personal experience here. You know how I felt when I reached the body goals I set for myself?
We said early, right? The goals, don't do that, man. Just keep working out because you enjoy it. Keep losing weight because you enjoy it. Keep putting on muscle because you enjoy it. Because when you start putting goals on yourself and you reach those goals, you're gonna set more goals. And then you're gonna try and reach those goals. And if you do reach those, you're gonna set up more goals. And it's gonna keep going over and over. That's just how the human brain works, right? So you have to purposely try and rewire your brain so you don't fall into the normal pit traps that is the human brain. It's of course it's not easy, but you can do it.
Empty. It doesn't take away the sadness, it just makes you look another way. And I have to say, it's definitely better than getting addicted to something destructive. But to achieve true happiness again,
It comes
true
from
content with
within.
my own life, I need to focus on the root cause of my issues. Sure, the internet might have given you body dysmorphia, so you work on your physical appearance every day, but do you do this for yourself
Or
or
you
to
do it
feel
for other
loved?
validation. Yeah, that's a big thing. And it's easy to go from one to the other. Like you can say, yeah, I'm working out for myself. I look good. And then you go on to YouTube and you type in Jeff Nippert. And then you're like, damn, and that guy's natural. Jeff Nippert is natural, but he just scientifically hacks everything, right? I don't do that. So I'm not going to get as big as Jeff Nippert, but that's okay. I don't need to be as big as him. Would it be amazing if I was? Absolutely. Like I'm not gonna sit here and cap and be like, man, I wish I didn't look like no, like yeah, Jeff looks freaking amazing. And I wish I had the gains like him, right? I'll pull it up real quick so you know who I'm talking about because I know people don't do their own research and that's okay. I don't it's fine. Jeff Nippert. Boom. Watch this guy. Look at this. Look, if you're listening to this video, just watch. Look, look at this guy, right? And he's natural. but he
What are
breaks
the
down
best
everything
and
to a
worst quad
science.
exercises for muscle growth? Well,
Bro, yes, obviously, whenever you're looking at yourself and you're like, yeah, I'm big, and then you look up on YouTube, you see a guy this big, right? And he has like the science and he's breaking it down. Of course, who are you gonna listen to when you talk when they talk about fitness? Sure, you're gonna listen to Jeff. But whenever you're talking about just being happy for yourself, you should 100% just look inside. Look inside. That internal validation is the biggest thing. That internal, hey, what makes me feel upset? Well, for me right now, honestly, I can't really think of much that makes me upset because that is what I always did to try and figure out my issues. And once I did figure out those issues, like perfect example last year, I'm like, what makes me upset? Last year I had issues with relationships. I'm thinking like, why can't I hold a relationships? Why am I dating somebody for like 2 months and then we break up, right? And it was issues with myself. It was issues with me. It wasn't really the woman that I was with. Sometimes sometimes it's other people, of course, but usually it was me. And I'm like, okay, so what is my issue with my relationships? What is it? It's and I'm thinking, oh, if I'm in the gym, the women will like me. And it's like, bro, the issue is you don't like yourself. I didn't like myself. So that's why I'm like, okay, let me go to the gym so other people can like me. But the secret is you need to really just think about what will make you happy. And it's not something external. It never has been and it never will be. And sometimes it is your environment. 100%. I'm not going to sit here and say like it's never something outside. It can definitely be an environment. If you live somewhere like you don't want to live, like perfect example, I didn't like living in America. And I was like, man, fuck this. Why am I spending $900 a month for a 1 bedroom? And then I move out to Asia and I got a 3 bedroom and it costs less than the 900. By the way, this was a couple years ago. So like inflation is even worse. So that 900 is probably like 1,000 something, right? I said, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to go live my life. I'm going to go do my thing. And not everybody thinks like this because it's not easy to think like this, right? I was talking to my homegirl, Chump. She's been on the channel. She's like, oh, yeah, she lives in LA. If you know anything about America, LA is crazy expensive. So she lives in LA. And she's like, "Yeah, I don't really know what to do." And I'm like, "Bro, perfect idea here. I'm not going to say what the idea was. I'm not going to, all that business." But she was like, "Wow, I never thought of that. Wow, that's a actually amazing idea." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is an amazing idea because I did it." Like that's how I know it works. And I think it would be beneficial if you try it out. But of course, it's always easier to try and figure out what to do whenever you have like an outside source to try and help you. So if you guys have friends, if you're having issues, definitely talk to your friends. And if you don't have friends, well, go make some. Legitimately, go make some friends. And it's not easy, but it's also not hard. So just give it a try because community is a very big thing. And a lot of people don't realize it. And a lot of people don't notice it. But community is 100% big. If you're not in tune with any community, uh, all you have is yourself to listen to, and you can lie to yourself very easily. But let's continue the video.
Do you feel like girls will like you better, or that you don't want to be seen as weak? The reasons are very personal for why we get addicted to certain things, so I'll let you figure it out on your own. But you
Yes,
need to think about it, because no matter how painful thinking about it might seem, you will be able to slowly start on a
you
solution.
need to
And
think
speaking
about it.
of pain, most addictions revolve around avoiding pain and general escapism, of course.
Yep,
Once again, gaming
that's
is
true.
infamous for the level of escape it can provide you. But we
Hmm.
have too many ways to escape from reality to count. Our phones might as well be extensions of our body at this point, so we can always retreat into the digital world.
Next stage of human evolution, I'm calling it, bro. We're gonna have something in our brains to go in and out of the internet at will. Just wait.
But at what point is the running more painful than confronting the pain? I know that life is extremely painful, everyone knows, but sometimes addressing our core issues is the only way to move forward in life. Are you never gonna have a relationship because your previous one was so terrible? Do you never want to talk to people again? Do you just want to be left in your comfort zone? It's
Not everybody's gonna be like your ex.
fine to live in your comfort
Leave your comfort zone. Comfortability is the killer of I don't remember the quote, but comfortability kills your ambition. There it is.
zone. Everyone does it, but life happens outside of your comfort zone, so I would suggest you give it a try. But before you can do that, you need to get rid of your personal vices that are keeping you in your comfort bubble. And I'm
True.
gonna tell you how you can break some of your addiction cycles.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so humans are creatures of habit. But the
Yes.
amazing thing is, you can
You can
actually
change your
control what your
habits.
habits are through
Yes.
incremental changes in your day-to-day life. The fact that there are
Exactly.
people out there who have managed to overcome their addictions proves that it's possible, even if it
Yes.
doesn't seem like it sometimes. So humans actually have the mind-boggling ability to go against
I
their
don't
natural
need it.
urges and instincts. And
I
if you
don't
ever
need
try
it.
to break a bad habit or get rid of an addiction, you know
I
how
don't need
difficult it
it.
is to keep fighting against it. But the very action of being able to fight against it implies that you have some sort of will within you. And that will has the freedom to follow your superego instead of your id. It takes around 21 days to make a new habit, sometimes
Yes, it
more
takes
and
time.
sometimes less, depending
It
on
takes
you
time.
being neurodivergent. But to break an unhealthy habit is a lot more difficult. First, we need to understand that even if we have willpower, it's actually a limited resource. Throughout the day, your brain starts off with an undisclosed amount of willpower, and you have to spend it on the right things to achieve your goals.
That's
That's why
true.
simply fighting the addiction through willpower isn't enough, because you'll eventually just run out and relapse. You have to fundamentally change your life in such a way where you
You
don't even
have
need
to
to
change
fight
your
it anymore,
lifestyle.
because you
Yeah.
don't get these urges. And when you do, they're manageable. Usually, any form of addiction weakens our willpower, so you have to make it stronger again. There is a very specific exercise you have to do, and that is going against your urges. Well, duh, you might think, but the amazing thing is, we can start off small. Let's say you're really craving some fries right now, that have been double fried. Acknowledge the craving, and tell yourself, even though I want these fries, I'm not going to get them because I said so. If that's already too much,
There it is. And that's another thing. Yeah. Like last night, not even last night, 2 nights ago, I'm hungry. I'm like, dang, I could really order KFC right now. And then I said, well, if I eat KFC, like I use logic to try and diminish the craving, right? So it's like, yeah, I could eat KFC tonight. It would taste good, but I know my stomach will hurt. It wouldn't make me feel good. And tomorrow when I wake up, I'm just gonna be hungry again anyway. So why eat now? If I'm just gonna be hungry again when I wake up, why not wait till I wake up and then eat and eat something healthy? And or eat something better than KFC, because even if I'm not going to eat something healthy, there's way many options that are way better than KFC. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah, 100%. You can rationalize and reason your way out of your cravings. It's not easy, but you can do it.
much for you, you can just not eat your favorite
You can
comfort
do
food
it. You
for a
can do
week.
it. You can
Or
do it.
something else. The most important thing is that you have to find something that gives you an urge to indulge in it, and you have to actively deny these urges for as long as possible. There will be setbacks, and there will be times where your will is so weak you can't deny any of your urges on that day, and that's fine, as long as you acknowledge what you were doing. Like, hey, I'm going to watch my favorite TV show for 2 hours now. Awareness is also key here. Most addictions rely on you being somewhat dismissive of what's happening, so if you can catch yourself drifting off into your habits early, you can deny the urge entirely. To make your will even stronger, you have to do one thing you hate doing for a set amount of time in a day. This creates new pathways in your brain that enable you to do difficult tasks with less effort, because our brains are actually amazing. It's like literally walking through a patch of grass every time until the grass flattens over time, creating a path. So to strengthen your will, you will need to do something you
I ate
dislike
my
and deny
willpower.
yourself of easy pleasures intentionally. Remember, you are in control. If you
I
tell
don't know
yourself
what it
no,
means
your
either.
body must obey you. If you are struggling really hard with keeping your hands off of your own phone, you can also get yourself an accountability buddy that will take your phone away from you. Now you have to
That's
confront
big.
your friend as well when you want to indulge in your addiction, and
That's
this will
big.
theoretically make you more shameful of your actions. I mean, you don't want to
True.
embarrass yourself in front of your own friend and ask them with a defeated look on your face to give you your phone back to watch short form videos. I've mentioned awareness before, but it is absolutely critical because an addiction can make you forget things. For example, how do you feel after doom scrolling for 46 hours?
I've
Terrible,
never done
right?
that.
Empty.
I'm glad I
Remember
never
that
have.
feeling. Use it. When you're about to do it again, being able to acknowledge what you were doing will give you the ability to talk yourself out of it. So it's like, okay, I have to write this text message, but maybe I can check Insta really quick. Wait, I know where this is going. I've been here before, and I don't want to feel that terrible again for waiting.
Dude, exactly, bro. I love this video. I absolutely love this video because Um, I've never doom scrolled, but I have, back in the day, I did find myself like just on Instagram. Like as soon as I wake up, I'm on Instagram for 1 hour just watching funny videos, right? And now instead of doing that, what I would do is I'll check Instagram rarely. I rarely check it, but I do check it. When I do, I'm replying to messages, and then after that, instead of doom scrolling like the vast internet, I only look at my friends' stories. That's it. That's a good way to try and mitigate it. Because sometimes my friends be posting some funny shit, or they'll post something inspirational, or they'll see something cool and they'll take a picture, or they're hot and they do a selfie, and I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. But literally, you could just go through that, your friends list, and that's it. Your follow list, and then that's it. Don't go to the vast internet. Don't click that icon that takes you to the vast internet because that is how you get sucked in. And once I realized that, that's when I switched to the method that I use now. And sometimes, of course, Instagram has like the ads and shit like that. And usually the algorithm will recommend somebody that I am interested in following in. So I just follow them and I just scroll their stuff. That's it. That is it. That's a good way to do it. And that's free game that I gave you. So try this. Legitimately try this. Try it for 2 weeks and then let me know how it happened or what happened next. Or if you couldn't get through it and you just like, fuck it, I went back to the vast internet. Let me know. Let me know.
Wasting so much of my time. I'm now going to put my phone far away from me and do something else.
Bro, my
This is
phone's not
another
even in
important
here.
step. You can't just abandon the addiction and replace it with nothing. You'd just be
You got to
miserable.
replace it
You'll
with
go
something.
right back to your phone again.
You got to
Replace
replace
it
it with
with
something.
hobbies and things you like to do. Maybe even try to socialize and make new friends so that you'll be
Yes.
able to do things with them instead. If you
Yes.
don't have
Do
any
that.
hobbies, then spend your time away from your phone to find out what you really like. You have to get out of your comfort zone at all costs. It is
You
a
do.
huge part of the addiction. So if you do
Yes,
something
it
uncomfortable
is.
every day, like greeting a stranger on the street, you will get more
Oh.
comfortable in the discomfort. And
And I was about to say, bro, I'm not even, bro, I do that all the time. Every time I go for a run, I say hello to everybody, every single person, as long as they look at me, because I also don't like, just jumping into people's worlds, right? Everybody lives their own world. So if I'm running and you're running, we're in the same world. Hey, I'm out here exercising, you're out here exercising. Hey, I'm running and you're just walking or looking at your phone. I ain't got nothing to say. You're walking your dog and I'm running. Hey, cute dog, and I'm gone. Do it. Try it. Try it. I feel like I'm not even really an introvert anymore. I'm only inside because it's my job, right? And that's why I'm also moving so I can have a more communicative location, right? So shout out to the Philippines. We're going to the Philippines next year. Let's go. So we're gonna go to the Philippines. I'm gonna have a nice place that's next to other people. I'll make a couple videos, go outside to the pool or whatever. If anybody's there, chop it up and maybe make a new friend. Who knows, right? And then come back. And that's how you find the balance. You've got to go out and you have to try and do something. I don't care what it is. You have to try and do something, especially if it's something that you don't normally do. So if you go out to the store to go get some chips or whatever, you go to the store and you actually browse the store for everything other than what you're looking for because you know what you're looking for is on a specific aisle. That means you're going to head straight to that aisle and pick it up. Instead, walk around, see what you can see. Maybe you run into a funny moment. Like there's several funny things that I see out in the real world, way funnier than some shit that I've seen online. So just walk around, have a good time, say hey to people, greet people, and then go get whatever it is you're trying to get. And then before you go home, stop by the park or something. Like if you drive past the park, hey, fuck it. Let's go ahead, park the car, park the bike, chill at the park a little bit, maybe even take a photo for Instagram. Like it's perfect. You're outside, boom, show everybody like that, and that'll also increase your dopamine because you're going to be getting validated online, and people love getting validated online. If that wasn't the case, social media wouldn't exist, right? So it also gives you a chance to it gives you time to have fun outside, and it gives you time to indulge in any type of dopamine rushes you may get online by posting your photo outside. So you get double hits of dopamine and you get to enjoy the day. Try it out. I'm telling you, it's what I do. Try it. Try it. Try it.
this
Never
will make
hurts
it
to
easier to
try.
leave your addiction. Remember, you will most likely relapse and indulge in your addiction occasionally, but as long as you acknowledge what you did and analyze how you ended up in this position, it will be easier to avoid the mistake the next time it's about to happen. Instead of distraction, take action. I think escaping into this virtual reality we've created for ourselves, regardless if it was because of evil tech companies or supply and demand, technological addiction will leave us feeling empty and much worse than we were off before. I know this because I'm just as
Absolutely
addicted
true.
as everyone else, and I don't think it's worth it. I'd much rather live in a flawed real world with the hopes of finding my true passion in life and just living life to the fullest instead of sitting alone in my room all day, rotting away until my life is finally gone. But on a bright note, thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. It genuinely does mean a lot to me.
It was a
Like
great
and
video.
subscribe if you like what you saw.
It was a
Watch
great
more of my
video.
videos, and bye bye.
Yeah, it was amazing. Nick Champ, thank you for making this absolutely amazing video. I love this video so much. Boom. Like I just videos like this, I love videos like this because it's an awakening. Like, yeah, it's kind of funny. Like
So complex.
there's memes and stuff, there's music, it's enjoyable, but it's also real and it gives advice. It's not just, oh, life is bad, life sucks. That's it. It's like, yeah, life is bad, life sucks, addiction is bad, but here are ways to actually fix it and get past it. And it's 100% true. It's real. The advice that he gave in this video, I can say like it works because I've done these, right? And I've never seen this video. I'd never seen this channel, but I was like, let me do these things to make my life better. My life has completely gotten better. Now you guys can see it. You guys can go watch videos from literally like 3 months ago when I'm overweight versus now. I'm the most fit I've ever been, and I was in the military for 3 years. I am at the most fit right now, sitting in this chair. And it's only going to get higher because I take care of myself, because I take care of my health, because I do not fall into these traps, right? I do enjoy the luxuries that are like social media and technology. Of course, I'm not saying I'm not on these places, but I purposefully limit myself. And that's the hard part. But the thing is, there's so many things that you can do, right? I'm in this house, I'm making videos. That's one thing I do. My books are back here. I read books. That's another one. PlayStation is in the other room. So if I do want to play online with my friends, I can do that. Outside is right here. So I go outside. These martial arts, I love martial arts. So that's what I practice. Of course, like we said earlier, talking about money, right? Is the thing that gave me the ability to do these things, right? But if you want to start making money, then you have to get out of these addictions so you can really think about how you can make money. Now, that is a whole different subject. Talking about making money, we could talk about that on the podcast coming soon. So, subscribe if you're new, hit the like button, and get ready to hear some amazing stuff from me, from other people that I know that I've met from different walks of life, from the CEOs to people that just got out of college, from the people that have had plenty of jobs to the people that's only had one job and they made it their career and they stayed in it for 20 years. I know people from all walks of life. So I'm excited to launch this podcast. And if you're excited to check it out, go ahead and subscribe. Join the Discord down below. Can't wait to see you guys there. Appreciate you guys for enjoying the reaction. And again, shout out to Nick Champs, bro. I am excited to see what else you have to drop because you, my friend, you have some interesting taste and you actually know how to articulate yourself well when it comes to forming these opinions and releasing them to the public. So mad respect to you. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm telling you, you're gonna go far. Right now, he's at 2,000 subscribers, bro. By the end of the year, easily 60K. Easily. Might even be way beyond 60K. So we'll see. But till then, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Comment, rate, subscribe. Bye bye.